Okay, microphones, please.
Italy.
All right, at 6:30, we'll go ahead and call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting for January 13th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Miller,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Pence,
Here.
DeWitt,
Here.
Garfield,
Here.
Mensch,
Here.
Rolfs,
Here.
Bro,
Here.
Mayor,
Here.
9 present.
Seeing no public, we will move to Chief Fire and the Fire Department report.
Good evening, council. How are we doing?
Good.
Hope everybody had a good holiday. With that being said, for the month of December, we actually had 0 fires that we responded to. So no brush fires, rubbish fires, or anything. So that's a win. That's also something that we try to push out. I don't know if anybody's noticed. So we've talked about it over the years. We have it's keep the wreath red. So if you notice in front of the fire stations, we have a wreath with red lights on it. The goal is to make sure that we don't have to change any color on any of the lights, which means it signifies no fire. So it's kind of a fire prevention thing that we shoot for. So we knocked that out of the park this year. For first responder calls, lift assist, we had 2. EMS, we had 28. Motor vehicle accidents, we had 4. Automatic alarms, we had 3. And then for other lines down, CO alarms, we had 3 of those with a total of 40. Numbers were down a little bit last month. There's nothing wrong with that. Gave everybody a little bit of a break, so that's good. For training for December, we cut it short a little bit to give everybody time at home with their family for the holidays. We just did ice rescue suit review, and then we also did a SCBA maze within Station 1. So that was a good way to end the year. For personnel, Lieutenant Tom Sandino, he completed his incident safety officer within the last month, and that was a 40-hour course. And then it kind of tied in the month. It was tied into 2 months. He also successfully completed his fire investigator. And that's a 120-hour course. These are both certified courses through the state of Illinois. So applaud Tom for going ahead and completing these courses on his own. No new equipment for miscellaneous. Obviously, I talked about the Keep the Wreath Red. We did great this year. And then we did the coloring contest. The winners, we gave them a ride to school. That was their last day before they went into, I guess you could say, Christmas break or winter break. They really loved that. All the kids showed up. I think we had one, unfortunately, might have been sick, but all of them showed up, got their picture, and we went for a little ride through town and dropped them off out front, and they really get a kick out of that, so that's kind of fun. And then I gave everybody in there, or I should say asked Kathy, she went ahead and should have gave everybody a report. It's kind of a final report of what we have. It kind of gives everybody an idea of the amount of calls we went on, the amount of time it takes to respond for the calls. It shows each personnel, how many calls they've personally been on, the rigs. I won't dive too deep into it unless there's questions. It covers every incident that we go on. For some reason, though, I do apologize. It only showed a total of 701 calls. We finished up with a total 707. So I'm not sure why this report didn't pull those 6 additional calls. Some of the biggest things I do want to point out, though, between the 2 years, so between the year 2024 and 25, as you can see, we had basically a 34, actually a 40 call increase from the previous year. The biggest thing that I want to point out, though, is our response time. Mm-hmm. We took a minute off of our response time. Now, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's actually pretty big. Mm-hmm. Now, that response time that you're seeing, the main one, that includes fire and EMS. So that's something that ISO looks at pretty heavily, is that response time. Mm-hmm. So we'll continue to work on that even more.
What's attributed to that improvement?
What's that?
What is attributed to that improvement?
So there's 2 things that kind of contribute to it. A lot of it actually is now the staffing within the station itself. By far, that tremendously cuts down your response times.
Sure.
Because prior to that, our average response time is about 10 minutes at least. Because you're normally on average about 5 minutes for someone to get to the station, and then travel time about another 5 minutes. Those numbers, if I break them down specifically, which I apologize because the program we have doesn't do that far enough. Now, we are switching programs this year. We just started it January 1st. It will give us more of a detailed report next year. And what that means is it will show our auto aid responses and then our in-town responses. Now you ask, why is that important? Well, our out-of-town responses, that increases our response time because it's farther travel distance. These times that I'm showing you here are actually includes our auto aid mutual aid calls. So if we happen to go to Crescent City or Martinton where we might have a 10, 15-minute response, that is also calculated within this overall average.
Oh, okay.
So if I take away those numbers would drop tremendously already. On average, I've noticed, like, give you an example, Heritage Woods is a good one to base us off of because we go there quite a bit. I hate to say that, but we do. We are normally, our response time from the time of the call to the time on scene is usually around 4 minutes. The reason why that's important because structure fires on a timed event, from the time we get paged to the time we end up on scene, now that's when the clock really starts. So once you get on scene and you got to drop 5-inch and you got to deploy out of the vehicle, do your 360, pull the hose you need, and get water on the fire, you're usually adding about another additional 5 to 7 minutes, depending on your manpower and your training abilities. So you can see we're just getting to the scene quicker makes a huge difference. The training that we do makes a huge difference. Fire doubles in size, unfortunately, with today's products. It doubles in size every minute. So long story short, if this room was involved, in 1 minute, you would have the same size of this room encompassing something else equivalent to it. That's how quick fire consumes if the fuel's there. So the response time is big due to the staffing, overall staffing, because we were catching a lot of calls during the day. That cuts down on that tremendously. The other thing that actually helps a lot too is with the vehicle, with having someone in the vehicle like myself, or if Deputy Chief Peters is in it, if I'm not in it per se, that also cuts down on the response time because that allows me to get to the scene quicker. And from there, I can do that 360. All the steps that the guys are kind of doing when they first get there, I'm cutting a lot of that out for them. And what that means is I'm doing the 360, so now we're deciding on fire attack or rescues. I can direct them what line they need to pull initially right away and where they need to go. That by itself cuts out several minutes on the fire ground itself. So several things that we've been working on for the last couple of years has contributed towards dropping that response time to getting on scene. So next year I'll be able to give you a little bit more of a detailed report of it, but that's where we're at for overall response. So keep in mind that response time also includes us going to Sheldon, Crescent City, Martinton. I mean, one point this year we went up by Kempton, I think it was, for a big brush fire. So all those times are added in. So even with those added in, that is still a very, very impressive response time.
It is.
Good job.
So your total here was up by 34. You attribute that to the ambulance calls or?
Yes, so down here at the bottom, Rescue EMS, we did an additional 50 calls this year. So last year we ran a total of 333 calls. This year was 383 calls. So that did increase. Those numbers, we projected the numbers to be a little bit higher, but not to where we're at. Now, the nice part is this should be a little bit more of a true number now. We're at that 383. Now, obviously, these numbers will fluctuate every year because you can't predict what's going to go on. This is just an estimation. And one of the reasons why the 383 should be a little bit more consistent, because it was in 2024, we didn't start staffing until February 1st of 2024. So we had a whole month of January where we weren't staffed yet. So the staffing didn't take effect till 2024. So 2025 is the first full year that we've had with staffing for 12 months that we can go off of these numbers. So this should be about where we're going to sit, hopefully, for the next couple of years, you know. The idea is to try to decrease the fire incidences. That's our job. If we don't want to see those numbers go up. Unfortunately, if we're doing our jobs, we shouldn't be doing a job. If we're doing what we should be doing behind the scenes, as I've said several times, we should be working towards putting ourselves out of a job. That means that we're educating the public, helping with code, doing what we need to do to eradicate emergency calls within our area to make everybody safer. EMS is what it is. You can't affect the fact that people are going to get older and they're going to have elements and they're going to need help. So EMS is a different animal on that aspect, but we're doing everything we can publicly to move forward. So is there any questions?
Good work.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, council, that's all I have, so thank you.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll move to Police and Fire Commission, Ida
Yeah, I
Dubois.
told you he'd be longer than me. We knew it was coming, Kenny, salesman, politician. Okay, reference to the police commission, we received 10 applications, those were due on January 2nd. We went through those applications last week. We had 7 first-time officers that applied, and then we had 3 that already had PTI, which we call laterals. And so we went through those 10 applications, we reviewed them, we checked on the backgrounds, because with the company we have now, they do a background check on them also. And so 3 out of those 4 will be taking the power test tomorrow, which it should be beautiful weather from what I'm hearing, wind chill, running around the track, snow. They should be fun. And then we had 1 that already had the power test taken. They can get a card through a college, and then they don't have to do that part. So he's the smartest one out of the 4, I'm going to say. And so he will be coming in. The total 4 will be coming here, and we do it actually in the chambers here to take the written tomorrow night. And so at 6 o'clock, we'll be doing the power test, and at 7:30, we'll be doing the written. So once we go through all that, then we'll meet. We'll have them come in on February 2nd to do interviews for those that pass, whatever happens tomorrow night for those that pass. And we'll be doing interviews with them on February 2nd, and then at that time, we'll make a list. So that's where we stand at this time.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ida.
You. Next we'll have Police Department Deputy Chief Harris.
Good evening. Much like Chief Byer said, our calls for December were down, so total calls of 197, traffic stops 11, 4 arrests for $104. The new squad is here. Chief took it up, had it marked. Brian was actually here again today. Car 1, we finished this morning and took to Ford. The Durango will be done tomorrow, and we'll take that over to Ford, and they gave us a total of $14,000 for them both. So Brian, when he gets done with those, is going to start on the new one, hopefully, and it should be on the road hopefully within a month. So the next thing, which Chief and I have been talking about for a while, is the transmission in the K-9 squad. Obviously, Tucker has not been coming to work for probably a little over a month now because I have to have a heat alarm and a kennel for protection. However, the other night I got called out. We had a stabbing, and the suspect supposedly threw the knife, so I put Tucker in a little carrier thing in the trunk of the squad and brought him, and we did our thing. Found out he didn't throw the knife, so I was out there for about 2 hours, middle of the night, but it was fun. We were doing our thing. It was a good time. So, like I said, Chief and I were talking about with the squad and stuff we're going to have to think about. We take our state recertification in March. However, that doesn't cost anything. Just I have to go to Joliet Junior College, do the recert. That would give us another year of him being state certified. However, if we don't fix the car or don't want to get another kennel for a new car, however, we'd have to talk about retirement or whatever. As far as getting another K-9 goes, that's something that Chief and I said we're just going to have to wait until we get all our staffing figured out. Because at this point right now, there's just nobody. So speaking of the staffing, we've got another officer that looks like they have one more test to take, and they're probably going to Bourbonnais Police Department middle or end of February is probably when they're going to leave. Other than that, we've got a couple trainings coming up for de-escalation that's mandatory that all the officers have to have. I think Chief and I are going in March, and then a couple more going in April. And then the only other thing as far as that goes is I officially graduated from Purdue University with my associate's degree. I got the diploma the other day, so I am done with that. and I'm still undecided if I'm gonna continue for the bachelor's yet or not, so. But
Congratulations.
other than that, that's all we have.
Thanks for doing that anyway.
Have we gotten any kind of estimates on the trans?
It's $6,500 to replace the transmission. The car has almost 95,000 miles on it.
Okay.
What year is the car?
I believe it's a 20.
Is it really worth dumping that into it?
Well, that's what we've been talking about. I mean, the interior and everything's still nice in it, but
Yeah.
who knows if it's going to start nickel and dime because it's got 95,000 on it. So it's just, it was a bad time for it to happen.
For sure.
Is that through Drawley's? Is
Yeah.
It? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, we're probably going to have to do something with it. We can't just let it sit there. So.
Right now, we're okay. We're gonna have to discuss it, what the next step is. You know, what the book value of it is with a bad transmission.
Like a guesstimate, what's the new squad cost?
Uh,
I want to say they're right around 43 or something like
Out
that.
of trade-in, yeah, in the mid-40s.
I don't think it's worth dumping $6,000 into.
Find a new squad.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Can you find them?
Hey, Mark, on the last Tahoe, didn't we wait almost a year?
Well, I think that's a big reason why we've been going to Explorers, because they can get them a lot quicker.
And it can be set up for K9 also?
Yeah, you can set up almost any vehicle for a K9. It's basically just buying an insert. Instead of putting a prisoner cage in it, you just put a kennel in it instead.
That'll all be determined later. Right now, they're gonna get this new squad on the road and get it rolling.
That, and we got to figure out what's going on with our personnel, so.
Right now, it's a lot more important than,
Yeah.
Vehicles.
But we have a portable way of at least
Yeah, like
transporting
I said,
K9.
I'm not bringing him to work on a daily basis, but if the need arises and we need to use him, I got a little portable kennel thing that we put in the trunk, so.
Okay.
How many squads are we down right now?
Just the one, I think just the K9.
Just yours?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was
Pretty sure that's all.
showed up.
And
Do
then
you
the new
remember
ones.
what it cost the last?
Well,
time?
technically two, because we're waiting on the new one to get outfitted, so.
Trying to remember how much it cost us to outfit the last Tahoe. I was thinking it was 8. Does that sound about right?
I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you.
almost 10.
10
Yeah.
for the Tahoe?
Both of them are equally cost-wise, pretty close to about the same. I personally, and I've talked to Mark and Chief about this, I'd like to start making our equipment cars, our cars uniform. So that's why I wanted to stick with the Ford Explorer. Unless we, for some reason, want to keep one Tahoe, but I want the whole fleet to end up the same type of vehicle. Ford Explorer there's thousands of them that are on the road with the state contract, and they've got
I understand that.
a history. They're just a little bit cheaper, also slightly cheaper.
I'm just looking at numbers right now.
Okay. Like Mark said, we're pretty much somewhat on hold until we deal with the staffing problem.
I was going to say, you don't really need the car till we get the people to drive them, right?
Well, I just don't want to go back.
I hate to be like that, but
I don't want to go back to where we were.
How many do we
Well,
need?
we got to figure out.
2 squads.
We have to figure out the K9
Yeah.
situation too.
I'm saying I don't want to go back to where we were 3 weeks ago when we only had 2 squads on the road and
Yeah.
run 24/7. It's killing our 2 brand new squads.
No, that's not gonna happen.
We're pretty
We
good
got-
shape
we,
right
we
now.
just had it happen.
Huh?
We just had it happen. We had 2 squads on the road that were run 24/7. Because we were down squads.
Okay,
I don't want to get back to that, is what I'm getting at.
okay, well, we're trying to get this new one on the road as soon as possible. And as far as the next one, I would like to at least make it so that we can take it out of our next year's budget after May 1st. So if we have to order one now, and at least as long as they don't bill us until after May 1st, then that's what I'd like to see.
Well, Ford's always been good with us doing that.
Yeah,
We should be looking at ordering it now then.
If you get it, nobody to drive it, what's the sense in having it?
We can order it now and take delivery of it in May. It's probably going to take that long to get it here.
You gonna
I'll
have
work
enough
with-
officers in May to staff?
We hope so.
we hope so.
Keyword there is hope.
Even if
I'm
we-
like Mark, I think we should worry about staffing first. We'll worry about cars later.
Okay.
I think right now we have one of the older style Tahoes left. After the K9 went down, there's one left. And then there's Chief's Tahoe, and then Squad 8 are the only 3 Tahoes we have. All the rest are Explorers.
And 8
One
costs us
has a
quite
new
bit of
engine,
money.
right? I
What's
think
that?
I think one of them has a new engine.
Yes, that's the old Tahoe that we still have.
The 8, is that?
And that's the one that Pulio's drive. No, that's
Oh,
car
that's
7.
one. Oh, 7, okay. That's got a new engine.
Yes.
Yeah,
With warranty.
yeah.
Charlie, I understand the staffing issue, and I really do. I also see the POs rolling through. Terry and I just signed a bunch of them tonight, and I see what our maintenance is on some of these cars right now.
Well, we can have Mark or Chief Starkey check with Ford, see what delivery is on a new one. Budget-wise, as long as we don't have to pay for it till after May 1st, I don't care about it. We can order it
That would
as
be
soon
nice.
as possible. It'll probably take that long to get anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go check and see what their
Check it out.
delivery date would be.
Yeah, get an Explorer, we're every bit of 6 months out.
Okay, we'll find out.
Other than that, I don't have anything else unless you guys have any questions.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee member inquiries, anything else? Seeing none, I need a motion for adjournment.
So move.
All
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, I'm gonna call the code enforcement meeting to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Garfield,
Here,
Mensch,
Here.
DeWitt,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Peterson,
Present.
Pence,
Here.
Rolfs. Here. Bro,
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
9 present.
All right, next is public comment. There is no public out in the audience. I'm gonna turn it over to Eric for his report.
Thank you, Alderman Bro. First on the agenda is IDNR flood mitigation. Not a lot to report there. We do have a closing tentatively scheduled for second week of February, not set in stone yet. And we are also working on another contract. And it's down at the state, and they're working on that also. So we've got two more coming up in the IDNR flood mitigation program. 400 North Jefferson. This is the project, the property I had the problem with the roof, and we were waiting on the engineer report. He produced an engineer's report on it, and the engineer actually designed a fixed, and he affixed his stamp to the fix to the roof. So, I could issue a permit. The only issue left then is it is in the floodplain, and is it gonna fall under the substantial improvement? The 50% of the value, would he need to elevate? So I've asked for some supporting documentation on labor and material, and haven't received it yet, but it is moving forward. HMGP 4461 grant, relocation consultant bid opening. I need to talk about that a little bit. What is that? It's to comply with Uniform Relocation Act. So when we developed this grant, we put money in there for the tenants. Most of these properties are landlord-owned and tenant-occupied. So this was money to help the tenants out with relocating to a new apartment, help with moving expenses. I believe help a little bit on their rent also, if there's a differentiation in rent for a period of time, and then comply with the Uniform Relocation Act. So for the tenants, there's $10,000 per unit in there to help them out. But to facilitate that, FEMA required that we hire a relocation specialist. So we put this out for a request for proposal, and we received one. And ICF is the name of the company. It's an international company, large company. Anybody wants a copy of this, I have PDF. I can get it to you. I'm not going to print all this out. They come out with some good qualifications. They're experienced in this type of work. They give 3 good references. It's a good company. They are gonna work locally with the East Central Illinois Community Action Agency. They've got listed in their proposal also. So, I would recommend that we can use them. I think we need to finalize a contract, a good contract that's fair to the city as well as the consultant. One thing they do have in here, in addition to the $10,000 per unit, that's their proposed cost, of course, is $5,000 to develop a city relocation plan with guidelines for them to follow. We can cover that within the grant. There's like $45,000 in administration in there, so it could be covered. I would recommend that we approve this. I don't know where we're gonna find another one. It's, I would say Keith Mulholland from Robinson, he was very helpful. He turned me on to someone he knew, and then they turned me on to another person, and I was able to get a request for proposal together from another town with city attorney's help. And this is the best we can do. And I'm not downplaying them. It's just
Gotta have.
international company.
Okay.
So the only cost of the city is $5,000?
It'll come out of the grant, out of administration.
Do you need a vote on that tonight?
I don't know, do we need to vote on this tonight?
I'd say move it to full council.
It will most likely be a full council. We're working on finalizing the contract.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's not fair to the city, we're not gonna sign it. Additionally, to the HMG 4461, and this just came up late today. I wish I was a separate agenda item. 813 West Franklin. So we've got an appraisal on that. We've got a verbal offer acceptance on 813 West Franklin. City attorney's working on closing documents. We've had the title search done. The title looks good. This is going to be on council agenda also to approve the purchase of 813 West Franklin. This is a $42,000 purchase, and it's going to come out of the HMGP 4461 grant again.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions on this? Or any questions? If you have any after the meeting, let me know. Watseka Rocks mural. I'm not sure if this is the Watseka Rocks or the Watseka Renewal Group, but they're wanting to do a mural at next door to 209 East Walnut. If you'll remember, that was the wood shake building that the city tore down, and we cleaned up the 4 lots and then repainted the one wall there. They're asking to do a mural on the wall. They've talked to the property owner already. The property owner's given their okay. I don't have any design or anything. I told them I'd just throw it on the agenda. They're gonna come probably in March and talk before committee or council and have more
Are we sure
specifics
about that
on.
location? 'Cause I heard it was the west side of Johnny Martin's building
No.
next to the elevator.
No.
No.
This would be
That's the next.
the west side of between the oil change place there and,
Some of their murals that they had made, you know, and been in storage, and they're putting them back up.
this is gonna be a painted mural.
You're talking about the metal signs, Terry, that those are,
Yeah.
those might go up on,
Yeah.
on Johnny's building.
Yes.
That's a
Okay.
different, that's not what he's talking
Okay.
about.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
I know what he was talking about.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a painted mural. They had proposed originally that, they would do a, removable type, product and maybe change it out at different times, and it became an issue of, you know, who's gonna change that out, and they
Right.
decided just to come up with a good design and paint a mural on the
Okay.
building. And they will be talking to you at a later meeting
Okay.
with more specifics.
Okay.
402 North 4th Street. Excuse me. So, this house has been in bad condition for a long time. This is on the corner of, 4th and Hickory. Recently, some of the wood's been falling off, it broke out some windows. Ken was over there, I believe, the basement door either rotted off or they kicked it in, and I could see tracks in the snow where somebody was going in and out of the basement, probably the scrappers. Had Public Works secure that. I put a condemned placard on there. You know, I think you guys should look at probably having this house demolished. I have spoken to the owner sporadically. I don't believe they're ever gonna do anything.
Tear it down.
She's in Florida, correct? She's out of state?
She's in Florida, yeah. Yeah, I sent a notice down to her, registered mail, it came back, so I don't know if she's moved. I've tried the phone, I've had a phone number for her and no response off the phone. So, you know, I would suggest that you move forward with this with council.
I'm gonna make a suggestion, we go ahead and get our attorney involved and move forward on this immediately. That house has been sitting there for decades in disrepair, and so's the house on Third Street.
The house on Third Street is in better condition.
It's in better condition, but it's going to fall by the wayside in time.
Since I've been here, they've put a new roof on that house, and I'm talking about the house on Third Street, and repaired the steps.
And nothing's been done since. And it's just a matter of time for that one falls too. But
I would recommend concentrate on Fourth.
I'll make that motion if motion needs to be made that we go ahead and get our attorney involved on 402 North 4th.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right. Roll call, please.
Miller,
Aye.
Peterson,
Yes.
DeWitt,
Yes.
Pence,
Yes.
Mensch,
I'll abstain.
Garfield,
Yes.
Rolfs, Aye. Bro,
Yes.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
Thank you. 6080 Smallberry Street. We talked about this last month. They had a fire and there's been no progress. They did have insurance. The insurance agent always sends me a waiver, you know, to waive any demolition fees. I did not do that, so, you know, there's $20,000 held back for demolition on the project. I reached out to city attorney, and he suggested going back to the insurance company, which I did, and they checked to see if they were going to ask for an extension on completing the rehab. They have put a new roof on it. Month went by and contacted again, and he said no, they haven't been able to contact him. There's no extension, and he's going to send the check to the city. So again, I'm going to reiterate that we should probably turn this over to Kane Carr, city attorney, to
This is the house down on the corner, right?
Yeah.
correct.
They had all the property
Ninth and
sitting
Mul-
on the front yard.
Yes.
Ninth
Yeah,
and
the
Mulberry.
neighbors, the garbage was in the front yard forever. They've had some dumpsters there all summer. The furniture was in the front yard all summer, and then the neighbors cleaned it up for
Yeah,
them.
I saw them, they were at the city dump a week ago Monday.
Yeah.
They had cleaned it.
Thank you for the neighbors,
Yes.
because it looks a lot better.
Yeah, it looks a lot
Yeah.
better.
Did they just recently clean that up, the neighbors?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
I read something on a posting about.
Yes, they,
and
when
looking
they
for
were
help
truck
and-
down there, they broke all that furniture down and they hauled it down the city
Good.
dump.
Good, very nice.
Do we need a motion on that too?
Did we vote on that last month or not?
No, you don't really need a motion just to contact CanCar. I
Alright.
mean,
Okay. Muller subdivision rezoning, and I apologize that we didn't talk about this last month, but, the committee, the, code committee meeting got moved up because of the holiday, and, Labor's Home Development reached out, and they were really wanting to, get the zoning finalized for their February 25th, application with, Illinois Housing Development. So we put this together, had our zoning committee meeting last night, and they did agree to rezone it from R2 to R4. Carly and Tammy from Labor's Home Development was here and gave a real nice long presentation, and they brought out some new renderings. These are, last night was the first that I had seen these. I give everybody a copy of these also. Not a lot of the public was here. I believe 3 residents and a local business representative. That's gonna be on full council also. I don't know, Mayor, did you wanna add anything, or?
No, I think it went well. There was, good questions from the zoning committee. And of course, Carly and Tammy really explained things very well.
Always.
Yep.
And they're further along in the development on their end,
Yep.
so I believe the big date at this point is February 25th
yeah.
with their application, and I think there's a June, answer to that deadline then to find out where the project is at with, Illinois Housing Development. Correct?
It's past the preliminary stage, and now February 25th will be a more official, permanent approval from the state, and that'll be the next hurdle.
Their application, I believe the
Application will
approval
be permanent.
comes in June.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have. Any questions?
100 West Walnut. It's on mine.
Did I skip one?
Yeah, 100.
100
Oh,
West
I'm sorry.
Walnut.
So 100 West Walnut, the issue is the shared wall with the neighbor, and the neighbor doesn't want to cooperate. So we're going to have city attorney reach out to the neighbor and neighbors council to
Okay.
see if we can come
You
to a
haven't
conclusion.
received anything, Mark? Haven't talked-
No, that's why we're gonna have the attorney reach out.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Do you have anything to say?
Not really.
Okay. Well,
No, I don't really, honestly. Nick had a whole lot. Just organizing and removing vehicles from the impound this month, really. There's 10 gone. That's good. The bad, I'll have 4 more back there tomorrow, so.
Is it revolving
It is.
doors?
I mean,
At least they're moving.
Right. Yeah.
The vehicles, the abandoned vehicles are moving and something's being taken care of them.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your work.
Yeah,
'cause
thank you.
From my experience, it takes time, and
Yeah, it does.
we're glad to have you to do that. So
You're welcome.
And work with the police department also closely
Yeah,
to
if you wanted
make
to
sure we legally do it, which we have been.
Yeah. That works.
Yep. So-
all right. So I'm gonna have Eric discuss about the Mueller subdivision, because there's been discussion on the floodplain on where that's at. So he can kind of give a little bit more detail about that.
And then this did come up last night that, you know, they thought maybe a portion of the Miller subdivision is in the regulated floodplain. So I'm just gonna run through this real quick. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'll talk a little louder. So, you know, when you look at the flood map, the cross striped area, this is floodway, and that's virtually unbuildable. To be able to do anything in the floodway is almost impossible. It requires a state permit. You gotta get an engineer involved and do what's called a hydrology analysis. It's really difficult to do anything in the floodway. So then your next is gonna be the green. This is the regulated floodplain, Zone AE. There's a lot of names for this. Regulated floodplain, Zone AE, special flood hazard area. This is the regulated floodplain, so anything built in this has to comply with the floodplain ordinance that the city has adopted to comply with FEMA and a National Flood Insurance Program so that the city can provide insurance for flood insurance. So then, outside of that, then you're looking at these shaded areas, the brown. This is the 500-year Zone X, 500-year or 2% chance of flooding. This is unregulated. If you want to build a house in there and put a basement under it, you know, you can do it.
Go ahead.
It's unregulated. And then the next step up from that is the unshaded areas here, which is not regulated at all, also just basically the same as the shaded Zone X. So if you can see, this is the Muller subdivision right here, which is outside of the green. The green you see right here, this is 6th Street. And 6th Street, we all know floods, and that's a floodplain. And then also down here, this is Oak or Ash, I believe, right in here. So, and you can see it maybe a little better on this one. The red pin is the Muller subdivision. And you can see most of it is the unshaded area, and you have just an area of shaded, and a little corner up here at the top is shaded. So the Muller subdivision is not in the regulated floodplain. Does that help, Nick?
Yep, that helps. Does anyone have any questions for Eric or Mr. Eads? All right. Need next is a motion to adjourn.
Shall move.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.